But today the Modi government completes 1 year in power. So let's get Tulsi Tanti, the chairman of Suzlon, the chairman and managing director of Suzlon, to talk about his own assessment of the Modi government and whether things have improved or not. Mr. Tanti, good morning. Good to see you in on our show this morning. You know, last year the biggest complaint that most foreign investors and foreign companies had was that it was difficult to do business in India. In the last 1 year, has the ease of doing business improved because of the various, small steps that the Modi government has taken?
Very good morning, and I really appreciate the government, all the initiatives of the last 1 year. Last 1 week I was in the US and Europe, particularly mainly the Global Wind Energy conferences, and I found huge excitement from the investors to invest not in just the equity, but to really invest in the asset of the renewable energy assets, particularly wind and solar. I think it is a huge shift. Otherwise, earlier they are more interested to invest in some of the listed companies' stock only, not directly on asset. I think that is the biggest change is coming. Not only that, their comfort and confidence level has improved a lot. Earlier, their expectations of the returns was very high from India because of the India risk and some of the currency uncertainty risk and everything. Now they have lowered down their expectations of the return on investment, I think, which is a good move, and because of that we can able to give our consumer the low cost of energy on a larger scale, and if scale is increasing, I think it will bring down our economy more and more sustainable direction. I think it is a very good confidence built by our Prime Minister and government across the world, and that confidence has improved a lot, and it will increase the trade between the country only also, not just the investment flow in India, but they are more interested to buy the technology and asset from us. I think that is a good move is increasing, and that we are really feeling. But it's 1 year is very short for any government or any leader to change the needle. But I think structurally what our government is doing, I think that is the great move I can say.
Fair enough, sir, but anecdotal evidence suggests that there has been no material change in the ground. This is what a lot of companies that we've spoken to have indicated, that, as of now, there are no capex which has been put in by the private companies. So while investors may be willing to commit money to India, we haven't seen that money flowing on the ground, as of now. What would your assessment be on that, and when can we see actual money coming in, with respect to capex, in the renewable sector?
I think particular renewable sector is not on that direction. If I do the assessment of the last financial year, the total renewable asset, including wind and solar put together, is $3 billion asset investment has happened. The current financial year, our prediction is $6 billion. So it's almost 100% move is there, both wind and solar put together. And as you know, the infrastructure project and execution on project, it's not so easy to build within 1 year and to execute and deliver. But lots of momentum is there, and the next financial year after that, we are expecting somewhere 6 billion to 8 billion. So it's a really going move. Current year is 100% growth in renewable energy, and the next financial year, again, it will be the 50% growth will come. I think real action has started on the ground. Most of the states are coming very positively to support the renewable energy on a ground level. Earlier was lots of constraint was there, but no doubt we have to do a lot more in this segment, because as you know, the government has set the target 175 gigawatt by 2022 in 7 years. The most important part to achieve this target is required is across the country is a uniform state policy, and it should be a policy for 2022. Because every time 2 to 3 years policy is coming, and it is disturbing the growth and momentum is reducing. So we need a 7-year long-term policy, and it's a very crystal clear target for each state. Out of 175 gigawatt, which state has to deliver and execute how much? And for that, support for the infrastructure development on ground will happen. I'm confident we can able to deliver 175 gigawatt by 2022. Just to understand, China is doing every year 20 gigawatt. So it's not a too high ambitious target for us to achieve in 7 years. It is achievable. The 3 billion investment is every year is happening. but going forward, as per the target, it is a 30 billion. So it's a really ambitious target, and I am confident because of the support is coming from the investors are coming across the world and they want to invest. But at the same time, it's lots of challenge we have to address in our country to establish this development. It's extremely important.
In fact, I was coming to that point, Mr. Tanti. This 175 gigawatts does look like a very ambitious target laid out by the government. As you pointed out, on one hand, the investments might flow through, but on the infrastructure support, what would you want to hear from the government in order to make this target more achievable?
I think if you want to achieve 175 gigawatt, we have to understand how China is doing. Every year 20 gigawatt, in 7 years they can able to deliver 150 gigawatt easily without any disturbance, and already they are doing. I think 4 things are very important we have to bring. The state level, because it's a state affair. Central level has done a lot of good move. Now the state level, 7 years uniform policy for the IPP company and for the captive SME companies respective, and uniform pricing policy and the long-term clarity about the availability of the integrated connections, permission and project approvals, everything in a longer period. So that is the part 1. Part 2 is a very important is resource base. We have an enormous resource in our country. Almost 500 gigawatt potentiality of wind and solar is there. So we have to identify those resource 175 gigawatt in a state level, and resource-based grid infrastructure we have to invest well in advance. If it is happen, then we can able to accelerate the investment, because industries and manufacturing capacity we have enormous in our country, and we have our own technology, so we are not worried about too much import on that segment. We can able to establish very, very clearly. The third important areas are important. Bank has to come forward, but they have a major concern about the state utilities health conditions. So if really government should address each and every state health condition should be in a priority, so that the financial investors and the equity investor both will feel comfortable, because it's a nearly $200 billion investment we are talking in 7 years. Now somebody has to finance and somebody has to put the equity. If the utility conditions remain like this, I think some development can be possible. Otherwise, going forward, it may create a disturbance and investment flow will not come the way we are looking. And the financial institute should forward, providing that is a very safe and secured funding for this investment, because it's backed by 25 years PPA, and need of energy for the next 20 years will remain in our country. There is no concern. And a lot of the projects last 20 years is built. Every asset has paid the money in time, hardly point-something percentage is NPA in this asset. So it is a very secured investment for the financial institute, but they have to give a longer period finance, 20 years plus, and they have to provide 80-20 debt equity ratio as the global investment is happening, so that we can attract more equity investment in our country and we can address those things very well. The last point is important, like Make in India. I think that is a very good move by our government. But if you want to really make success, the biggest concern for the manufacturing company when I compare with the China is a 2-part. Part 1 is our energy cost is high for the manufacturing company, and part 2 is our financial cost is higher. And because of that, we are not globally competitive. Maybe we can doing the domestic consumption market only, but not on export, because $200 billion our export of the India, it's very, very small compared to 2,000 billion of China. I think we have to focus on SME strengthening, and it is possible to strengthening to providing the captive energy. So they are now started investing in the renewable. The way rooftop solar is for the residential is there, but for industries is a utility scale renewable energy projects. If that investment for the captive will come, I think it is a good move. But their concern is that the financial cost is higher in our country. So if government provide to make Make in India successful and SME strengthening 5% interest rebate for such investment of the renewable, if it is given to the manufacturing company, I am confident lots of manufacturing SME company can grow and create enormous sustainable jobs in our country. Not only that, they will start lots of exporting to the other countries. I think this is the integrated or inclusive solutions to bring the sustainable jobs and to bring the sustainable economy.
Okay, so it's a very long wish list, Mr. Tanti, that you've outlined. But, the government has given its roadmap till 2022, where it wants to have, 175 gigawatts of energy. What is Suzlon's roadmap till 2022? How much of this 175 gigawatts of, renewable energy would you like to target and capture?
Yeah, we have already committed during the Renewable Energy Invest Conference to our Prime Minister. The 15 gigawatt is our plan is there, which include somewhere 10 gigawatt is onshore, the 1000 gigawatt is in offshore, and 5 gigawatt, 1000 megawatt in offshore, and 5 gigawatt in 4 gigawatt in solar. So total 15 gigawatt our plan for the next 5 years. We have not given our commitment for the 2022, but at least 5 years as per our strategic plan and roadmap. We are targeting in India 15 gigawatt. As you know, Suzlon is extremely well positioned. We are working in each and every state, and we have a good infrastructure pipelines. So we are quite comfortable to build the more capacity and to build our country's backbone very well.
All right, Mr. Tanti, we'll leave it at that. Thank you for joining us and assessing not just the impact for the government as a whole, but on the renewable energy sector as well. So there's expected to be doubling of investments from $3 billion last year to $6 billion in this particular sector. And as Mr. Tanti says, yes, there are some hurdles like land acquisition, etc. But once they get eased, then these targets will not be hard to be met. But